all over. No. There goes Monikins. What does the world care? Monikins done for, done for. Once and for all. And yet, why should anybody care? Monikins done for, done for. But Monikins hasn't yet said his last word. Isn't that so? We haven't yet said our last word. No, no, no. Don't hurry up, please. Don't hurry up to call time. Monikins is Monikins, the Monikins. And there is no other Monikins, except for there is not. Nor will there ever be another one, Aidios, the one and only. What others? Are you listening to me? You're not, but you shall, perhaps later or sooner. Better later than sooner. Shortly, without negligence. So, you're going to remain without Monikins? And well, no. I'm resolved to stay with you forever. Is there something more deathless than death? Something more deathless than death? Than death, something more deathless, or more immortal than mortal. I'll drink to that. More final than death, even better. To die or not to die, this is the rub, or the rubber. I must record this in the beginning, perhaps, or better at the end, possibly in the middle. Where does death occur or takes place? Of course, there are cases and cases. One naturally dies in the end. But also, sometimes, unnaturally, in the beginning. At other times, naturally, unnaturally, before the end of the beginning. Stillborn. And life shall have no dominion. Jeremiah. Before Dylan. So everything is finished now. Or accomplished, as Christ said on the cross, tetelestai. So you're going to remain without Monikins? Well, no, I'm resolved to stay with you forever. Is there something more deathless than death? Than death, something more deathless? Of course, there are casi pensati e casi accidenti. Does one die accidentally or pensively? At the beginning or at the end? Blowing hard or blowing hardly? Somewhere in the middle. Am I repeating myself? Oh, what lay ahead of us to say? Meanwhile, no, I have to rehearse. How has the time gone by? Calafis. But it's never too early. It's never too early. But you have to begin from somewhere. But I've got a bit of stage fright. I don't know whether I'll be able to manage. Must not forget, you're not totally alone. You're not totally alone. You told me, I remember, it was your most delightful night. I still remember your laugh, your tears, with some fright, like dying ember. But you do not remember. You must have had some better evenings. How could you possibly remember that night in December? It was December, I still remember. Remember or dismember. I forget me not. C'est la vie, c'est l'amour. C'est l'amour. Amor, amore mio. The charismatic and heroic heroes and the happy hopping Caron, chi vive sperato muore cagando. So we haven't yet said our last word. No. My beloved friend, my comrade, you who have stood by me like a faithful cat, you who are my daily bread, give us this day, give us this day. What? You know, Dochon Fialan, that's how Pindar used to hail thee. Hyper Fialan. Enough of philosophy. And now the two of us as man to man, we talk about major issues now. Can you take it, my friend? As man to man? Huh? Of course, it's going to take a lot of care and consideration and continence. A lot of continence and care and consideration. Okay. Let's begin. Let's rehearse. One must first rehearse. You must always rehearse before entering a hearse. Even God, before creating the world, he must have had it, before he saw that it was good. Okay. Ladies and toilet men, Excellenzen, Ihre Majestät, Tsars, Commissars, and profiteers, starets Rasputins, archbishops and bishops of all bishoprics, Dalai Lamas, Ayatollahs, patriarchs and matriarchs, Auguste et Augusta Despode, iron crosses and phoenixes and garters of the first, the second, and the third, and of all disorders. Kameraden, fratelli e sorelle, popoli famosi di Magna Grecia, post-McCarthyists and Edward Hooverizers, Ku Klux Klanners and systematizers, Gauleiters and gas chamberlains, golden coming and going adolescents at gunpoint. Monikin, I'm addressing myself also to you, and also to you too, Monikin. Rehearsal must have a stop. Keep smiling, Monikin, keep smiling. Gentle men, gentle women, and gentle girls. I am a Greek, and that is of universal importance. And this fact fills me with great pride. Proud because I'm a Greek, as every Greek should be very proud because he is Greek, as every free, foul, or beast. Stop. My opening was not bad. I opened the issue without any hesitation. Who am I? I'm a Greek. This is important enough, because if I were not a Greek, what would I be? I would be a nothing, a nobody. Who would pay any attention to me? Whereas now, I'm a Greek, I pay attention to myself. And what's more, I'm a true free Greek who can do whatever he likes and not do what he can, because Greek and slave are two concepts completely incompatible. A bit of Slavs, perhaps, but never slaves. And the Greeks have never been defeated during their wars of independence, except in a very few cases of no importance to be forgotten, and which, as a rule, prove the exception. But why Greek? Would Hellene perhaps go better? Civis Romanus sum. Greek, yes. Greek, I prefer Greek to Hellene. No, not Trojan, no. Not even Byzantine. Greek, yes, Greek. Or Romios, Roma, Romeo. Even the Turks call us Rums, or Yunans, Iones, Gaus, infidels. Fidelity and infidelity, the scourge of mankind and womankind. With a few words, I explain to them who I am. Not completely yet, but in general lines. The main one is allegro, ma non troppo, remaining untold. And afterwards, I will proceed fortissimus and majestosus into my main theme. That is to say, what is my main theme? And my prologues on it. The very fact remains one and only one. As a Greek, it is self-evident that I am anti-retrogressive. And as every Greek, I am Hellenistic. And should I say Philhellenistic too? I have known everything in the short life of my millennia. And either ότι το παν είδα, το παν, everything, because everything is Greek. Even Buddha, deep inside, was a Greek. Confucius too. Even Marx and Zarathustra. Christ himself and Mohammed, all Greeks, because they think Greek. The missing link is the word, the Greek logos. Because if it is not Greek, it is not logos. And I have existed and pre-existed, theist, atheist, Talmudist, Zoroastrist, pre-Socratist, Platonist, Neoplatonist, Marxist, Leninist, Stalinist, Trotskyist, Nihilist, Fundamentalist, and Jesuit. I have been, in brief, all the ists which exist. Comme une coloniste française dans le monde, from pre-communist to post-modernist. If I were to live a day longer, I would have become, did you hear what I just said? If I were to live a day longer. And this is my theme, ladies and gentlemen. This is my theme. I'm not destined to live longer. Monikin is leaving you. But here, a butt is raised like an enormous buttress, which I'm almost absolutely certain that will interest you very much as the primordial antediluvian question. If I were not what I am, what would I have liked to be? My mother used to say she would have liked to be an ostrich. Perhaps I've said a lot. Stop. An mir ich vielleicht. Nein, nein. I said what I had to say. Shall I play it back? No time, no time. I don't want coming generations find platitudes in my speeches. My style is ipso, Greco, facto, classical as the body of a Greek ephebe sumo wrestler. I do not doubt. As an artist, perhaps I'm more Dionysian than Apollonian, like Nietzsche, but without the moustache. Also sprach Kazantzakis. Even Plato doesn't avoid platitudes or platitudes. Plato makes platitudes, not bad. But I have to continue. With persistence and insistence. Monikins' Periclean funereal oration. How many people would simply die and recite their own funeral oration themselves? How many? But also, how many Monikins are there? Death begets death. Death will make the world go round. Dead men say no fairy tales. What is Monikin? Monikin is me, a good and bad little Monikin. but evil for your own good. For I haven't come to send peace on earth, but a sword. For I'm come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Matthew. About the son-in-law against his mother-in-law, the apostle is silent. I must record this. It's not needed. Fame after death leaves me cold. It's a worse sin than greediness. Do evil and cast it to the wind, like the old saying, like ashes blowing in the wind. Dylan, Bob at this time. Although it sounds like our safaris. I have always been totally opposed to prizes. Perhaps I would have been the only Greek, but I would have never accepted the Nobel Prize unless it was in the name of Greece. Dulce et decorum est propartia labori e mori. David Owen. Dr. Death. No, Wilfred Owen. What is life? What is death? Only a Monikin knows. Because Monikin has lived so many lives and so many deaths, like the Owens. My tiny bottles, my tiny stars. Twinkle, twinkle, little stars, how I wonder where you are. Where am I? Oh, yes. I've said who I am. And then I announced that I'm going perchance to die. And then skillfully left the world in suspense. The world wants to learn the reason now. Why will Monikin die? Why should Monikin die? The die is cast. Julius Caesar and Mussolini. Monikin ante portas. No one will make me change my mind. No one. You think you're finishing too? Wrong. I've got another full bottle next to you, and another semi-full in the kitchen, and another one in the loo. Innumerable as the stars. I defy you, O bottles. You should never count bottles the way you count stars, because you get dizzier. What would you do without me? Of course, you'd find someone else. But mark my words, no one loves you as much as I do. Mark my words. Let's proceed. How does one proceed? What if I were to link the overture with the main theme? How does our noble poet say, wherever I go, Greece wounds me? Is that what he says? Better something of my own, or an epigrammatic variation. Liberty, cease for a moment to strike with a sword. Come, approach, and weep on Monikins' final word. Solomos, our national poet, the son of an Italian conte and his housekeeper. How does a Greek historian call him? The son of a servant. What antinomies, or contradiction per se. The son of a servant writes the hymn to liberty. Only in Greece could such miracles occur, such miracles and such sacrifices. Eureka, Alcibiades, between life and death, the intermedio of sacrifice. Life means sacrifice, and sacrifice, death, for a Greek at least. Other people sacrifice themselves and die, but the Greeks never die. Greece never dies, as this song goes. Don't worry. There will come a time when they'll arrest you. The spirit of all great men is captured or arrested post-mortem, after Christ. Non omnis moriar. Horatius, what a line. Even dead I will be alive, because my opus will survive. Well, I wonder where. Knock, knock, and it shall open. Matthew, but Lucas too. Coincidence or plagiarism? Hello? Monikin, you? Yes, I'm fine, Monikin. How are you? I'm fine. To be precise, I'm in a very creative mood, Monikin. Philosophical poem and prose. You're gonna love it, Monikin. At least I want you to love it. If I love you, Monikin, yes, Monikin, I love you. How much? Very, very, very much. Oh, my new opus. Well, in this Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, poetic opus of mine, there lies all my biotheory above all. What means what? Biotheory. Or above all. Horatius said it about Leda's egg, from where Helen sprang up. Ovo is the egg. If I've been eating well, I have been quite a little piggy from so much food. No, I'm not drinking, no. Almost not at all. How is the family? Yeah. You're in a hurry. Pinato, yeah. And then cocktail, and then supper. Oh, poor Monikin. And hairdresser. But you only went yesterday. Oh, I got you, Monikin, only for a good opinion. I got you, yeah. If I love you, Monikin? Yes, Monikin, I love you. And you? You yes do? You really do? Love me little, love me long. Sometimes you repent. Oh, no, Monikin. I'm the one to blame. I shouldn't have let you to leave me. What? It was you who let me to leave you? Oh, man. Yes. You have to leave me now. You hear steps. Call me. Monikin, call me again. Every phone call of yours is an oasis in my desert. The desert, the privilege of the hermits, Whoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Bacon and Aristotle. La belle dame sans merci. This phone call of Monikins was utterly unnecessary. It stopped the coherence of my conception. Women, all women. A woman makes a man, and she unmakes him. Suffer the wombs come unto me. Women's inclination, dance and copulation. Nursery rhyme. Frailty, thy name is woman. Excuse. What a life. And tomorrow, not today. As of today, what a death. Happy Death Day to me. Happy Death Day to me. Happy Death Day to Monikins. 4,000 years of Monikins life. And 4,000 years old. A very good year. The best wines like the best human beings. What a life. No more time. No more time. Curious. We usually don't have time only when alive. Whereas, I have to carry on. Standing or notwithstanding my 4,000 years, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me for digressing again, Byron died young. I cannot quite recollect how young, but definitely very young. Let's say 35 years old. What a Philellini. He died of malaria at Missolonghi before its fall. However, when they opened his cranium, his brain was that of a much older man, 80 years old, as the Philellini scientists of that time calculated. I wonder what they'll say when they open my own skull. And what my eyes have not seen, 4,000 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let the 4,000 years frighten you. Man is as old as he looks, and it's a pity for a man who doesn't look 4,000 years to die so young. It's a pity. And you know why it's a pity? For thou hast a real need of me. You were not meant to die, Sophocles, and I'll prove it to you. Because I was born a poet, was suckled a poet, grew up a poet, and excluded a poet. When my mother was breastfeeding me, was reading Polemis and Rossinis, a kind of Keats. I started expressing myself in verse before I even crossed the threshold of 6. Mama, stop cleaning. let's leave the house and go and see Laurel and Hardy or a Mickey Mouse. It was my first rhyming creation. A mere nothing, I grant you, but a mere nothing full of promise. My parents were in seventh heaven with my juvenilia. At the age of barely 8, I wrote my first patriotic poem, The Grave of a Corinthian Hero, a small epic to the memory of my grandpa. He was a great fighter during our struggle for independence. He had met our legendary hero, Kolokotronis. Here is Grandpa. There is Grandpa. Where is Grandpa? Grandpa, Grandpa, why don't you answer anymore? You who were once the best and the most valiant Greek warrior. A daring rhyme for a boy of 8. My mother, who adored our national poet more than my father, used to call me my little Homer. Between 10 and 12, I wrote my first erotic verses, inspired by my teacher. She had enormous tits, whose every rise and fall filled me with rapture. My poetic disposition was strengthened. Oh, what pantheistic festivities, what youthnesses, and what raging tremors. Our schoolmaster used to call her Byzantium. By then my parents started descending from their 7th heaven. I no longer like big pussies. You see, little boys judge and admire from the size which they lack. Now that I'm grown, life's paradox, I prefer little ones. My teacher's bosom was essentially my first grade-shaped station in my life. It gave me a cyclothemic feeling of the world. Despite this fact, it was she who suckled me to God. Yes, at that time, it was also she who led me into joining into the Sunday school and to confession. Her father was a clergyman, one who's caught in the act of self-abuse must do penance, fast for 40 days, eating only dry food, prostrate himself each day 100 times. Canon number 8. I greedily began reading the scriptures, especially Paul's epistles to the Corinthians. Family reasons. How naughty and what children we Greeks were and are. Greeks, eternal children, how naughty and what children. While the apostle advised them how to unite themselves with God, they went and became one with themselves, regardless of sex, family relations, and age, while putting the blame on one another. I was so carried away by Paul that I decided to remain a virgin too, like Paul. But was he a virgin? Why was he then not such an ardent advocate of circumcision and attacked Pope Peter for his Jewish fundamentalism so vehemently? That's another big, pending, unanswered question. Nonetheless, I too began writing epistles to Athenians and Corinthians in memoriam and in absentiam of my old man. Thus I became too a young disciple. But that didn't prevent me from having repetitive wet dreams with the slightest provocation, asleep or in wakefulness. The envy of the devil, as says Gregorius Sinaitis, as well as Anastasius Sinaitis in their diatribes on ejaculation. How much I was tempted then. But the temptations of Satan I overcame, preparing myself for my mission. Faith saved me. To be more precise, my dear friends and countrymen, if someone doesn't save this world, who's going to fix it? Or if someone doesn't fix it, who's going to save it? And there is such a crowd waiting to be saved, quite a queue, and incessant, incestuous, unassayed clauses. Hello, Monikin, you. How are you, Monikin? How's business? Is everyone at home well? Aunt Angelica? I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, you know who phoned me a minute ago? Oh, you don't? Well, it was Monikin. She also asked me how I was, and I told her I'm fine. No, I'm fine. Utterly unclouded, steady and calm, but also at times agitated, and I would say thunderstorming. I'm creating something very, very big which will make an even bigger bang when you hear it. You won't believe your ears when you hear it. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, you have news to tell me. Pleasant news, Monikin. Oh, speak up, Monikin. Yeah. Yeah. Aha. So they really need me this time. Am I so much wanted? They want to honor me. Aha. Well, it's an honor, I admit that. But normally, the way things stand now, I don't know whether if I accept. Yeah. Yeah? Uh-huh. Well, if you say so, okay. They want to make me vice president? Yeah. And president too. Or either one or the other. It's a secret. I shouldn't tell to anyone yet. It's a minister's wish. Because he's afraid of other ministers' wishes. Even of the prime ministers. Okay, Monikin, you know best. Monikin, you have succeeded in life. You might have not reached the prime minister's office, but you're a successful industrialist. Prime ministers come and go, while industrialists stay. Nature's law. Yes, yes, I have succeeded too, but in a different field. You haven't changed a bit. If one opens your safe, he'll find the same old child in it. No, friends never change. Friendships only. I wanted to say the older the friends, the smaller the friendships. No, ours has remained indissoluble. Monica, do you remember the plans we once made together? You, a famous painter, and I, a famous poet. Do you remember? Huh? Following God, I became acquainted with you, Monikin. Yes, first with a teacher. But I lost them both, her and him, whereas you, Monikin, it seems to me I never lose. I do, Monikin, no, I'm not drinking. Monikin, I give you my word. As soon as I become vice president or president, I'll cut it off completely. Monikin, are you hungry? Oh, you're busy, busy. Oh, I understand that because I'm busy too. And only he who is busy can understand how busy Ozzy has a busy piece. Alles gut, Monikin. Vielen Dank, Monikin. Auf Wiedersehen, Monikin. He hung up. He'll call again. Every phone call of yours is a desert in my oasis. A famous painter, a famous poet. Where are the old happy days? La Belle Époque, the Industrial Revolution, the revolutionary spirit, La Marseillaise, the Third and the Fourth International. Where are my violets? Where are my roses? Where is my fine scent? A famous poet, ein bekannter Dichter. They now offering me the position of Vice President of the Society for the Abolition of Malaria, the anti-nut. Its president, it's also president of the Byronic Society. It's a person with intellectual aspirations. An honor, I admit that. And in my name, they honor the whole nomenclature of my country. An honor, a recognition. A recognition. Poor Paul was struggling to save his followers. And they, instead of acknowledging this, what did they do? They committed adultery, regardless of sex and of kingship. And on top of that, in an unnatural manner, even men with their own wives in an unnatural way. How could the apostle not be horrified? How could he not rebuke them as if he had not warned them? Do not be deceived. Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminates, nor self-abusers shall inherit God's kingdom. But why didn't they listen? Why? Since people always seek a savior, as much as the savior also seeks them out. No, I won't accept. I cannot accept. I said that I would not to disappoint him. Of course, he is indebted to the minister. But Monikin will realize I have much greater things to accomplish without wishing to diminish the importance of the anti-nut, anything but that. To each his own. I will not. The sirens of presidents and vice presidents will not tempt me. And what's more, I will return all their medals, and I do not speak about the ones they have not given me, but for the ones they will give me. I throw them back to them one by one. They don't know me well. If you only knew what I hide within me and what my eyes have not seen. Knee bend. What memories this knee bend doesn't revive. What a bosom was that! What an exquisite bosom! Frozen, the Swiss Alps, like an ad for organic milk. If I could only find them again, a bit smaller, of course. Senilia, senilia, Monikins ante porta. I'm not going to start a third bottle, no. Third bottles always put me to sleep. I don't know why. Once upon a time, the first one used to make me yawn. Thus I was forced to have a second one in order to keep myself awake. But the third one always put me to sleep. Perhaps if I try a quick fourth one, the recycling of the spirits. Gian Battista Vico, in Vico Veritas. Monica, they are waiting for you. Don't make them wait any longer. This time you have to finish your mission for immortality's sake. Symposium. Job asks rather naively, when a man dies, can he come back to life? I wonder what the demonic Socrates would have answered. Meanwhile, I have written a diatribe on the subject, what happens after death, 288 pages, to be published in a few days. I do not maintain that I'm going to explain everything, but you will soon realize that I'm going to leave my soul on this tape, and then, only then, you will realize the inner meaning of my words. They say that the sun rises in the east. I do not doubt this fact. But where does it set? Where does it set, my friends? I told you, I have been looked inside you, and I know everything and everybody, all ideas and all ideologists. The opium, the popium, and the utopium of the people. Haven't you heard what Christ suffered from the Jews from the Christians from Marcus Aurelius, our hero Kolokotronis from the Greeks, yes, from the Greeks, and not from the Bavarians of King Otto, but from the Greek Minister of Justice and the Greek bayonets who tried to convince Judge Tercetis to sign Kolokotronis' death sentence. And what the poor old man dictates after his release. I offer my humble allegiance to the king and to Armansberg, and then sat peacefully up to this very moment that I'm relating you all this. Sat peacefully, who? Such a warrior, like colocotronis, to survive and stay alive. What if the people say you cannot stain eggs with farts, or ass's fart and the Lord's promise are the same? It is these farts that stain with blood the world. Not all ideas are the same, not mine. Ideas bend with the remover to remove, and ideologists are always eager to destroy, until eventually are destroying themselves, like Jerusalem. Camarade, my camarade, your fearful trip is also done. People are not exulting anymore. You told me, I remember, it was your most delightful night. Forgive me, an old poem of mine without any artistic aspirations. What am I? Yes. My idea, yes. My idea is as virginal as the Parthenon. You look at the Acropolis, if you are a Greek, of course, or if you are a tourist with Phil-Hellenic soul, and what do you see? The Acropolis is something more than an idea. I have said once in a conference or in a symposium, I don't remember, that paradise is nothing else but the lives of the others. Yes, and thus I had said, although I'm not a believer in paradises, whether pan-European, pan-American, pan-etc., all that stuff I denounce. Pilaf or no pilaf. The whole thing in life is dignity, integrity, and something else. Faith, yes, faith. I am that I am. I have faith in me, because without faith neither men nor gods exist. And something else, death, yes, death. Death almost rhymes with both birth and earth. Is the eternal cemetery which, unlike the cock, knows of no alarm clock. It has been proved all over the world that today humankind doesn't believe in life. All the arts of youth prove this or aim at it. What else is then left but death? Do you believe in death? Because if you don't, death does not exist. One dies or does not die. This is the real answer, but not for me any longer. I die, therefore I am. I die, therefore I am. And I prove it to you immediately. Forgive me for choosing this way out. Loaded, not Russian tricks. But I've got a bit of stage fright. Not only actors get stage fright, but also brave people break a leg, even Christ on the cross. Of course, things could have been simpler, but they aren't. In a little while, Monikins, you will see, is hiding so many little things inside you. But soft you now, for I'm ready for my sacrifice, for my salvation. It is yours. Because if one doesn't die, he does not live. Have you thought of this? What a great new open horizon emerges before our closed eyes. Only one example. Does one see dreams there? Hamlet went as far as to approach this subject, but he didn't go any further. And if yes, does one see wet dreams? And if yes, does that mean that sin still exists? And if yes, why? About circumcision, there is not such a problem anymore. Oh, what chain of problems and virgin territories lay ahead of us. Yes, death is the great underrated being. Why there's so much importance to life, which come right down to it, we are in a position to say that we have solved most of its problems. No, I'm not here for nobody. Not even for you, Monikins, not even for you too, Monikins. If there was a telephone in the other world, I won't answer it either. Or perhaps I might make an exception for you too. Lies, I would have answered the whole world. And you know why? Because if they were not existing, you wouldn't have existed either, as you are my whole world. Where am I? At the beginning? No, I am at the end of my tether. The end of the class war. The end of fear of change. I declare death the wild for inner equilibrium and for eternal consumption. And where is there more tranquility, order, safety, and eternity than in the kingdom of death? A raven is gently rapping at my chamber's window. Why, my hand is trembling. And now my message to the topsy-turvy humanity. I'm addressing myself especially to the youth of Greece. Young men, I'm unhurried by emotion, but very much hurriedly moved, addressing myself to you, as I am found among three conjunctures: the sun, the sea, the moonlighting. Life as ourselves is our worst enemy. Invite all the tourists of the world, the most lucrative sector of the Greek economy, to be buried here. Defend your last drop of blood the sacred idea of death. Greece offers joy, freedom, death, and the Greeks have the right to personally arrange all having to do with their own grave matters. Have faith in death. We must reform our mentality. Our graves must become the mausoleums of the new spirit. Thou must, new pursuit, become the evangelists of death, become teachers of funereal offices and instructors of grave diggers. Become preachers of Charon, strive so that life is effaced from the face of the world, which is called first Greece and then the globe. Greece is not allowed to live. We are compelled and obliged to make her die and accomplish after death glorious deeds by her new expiatory example. A Greek cannot be conceived alive anymore. He must only be conceived dead for the benefit of humankind. I'm exhausted. Perhaps I'm an intrepid, honest, and impartial voice which is about to meet an untimely death here and now. Among you, Monikins, you must not die. Or if you must, you better die last. And you, Monikins, I appreciate your gesture, but I cannot accept because I am prematurely absent. Boethius, Bonaventura, William Tell, Totelos. Oh, how do you like your brown-eyed boy, Dr. Death?